Today I'm going to show you how to make these pumpkin muffins. There's no sugar added and they're really easy to make. I hope you enjoy. I have my little recipe here, just for reference. Alright, so I have my oven and it's preheated to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So you just want to preheat the oven ahead of time. And then you have like your muffin tins, liners. So I just have, whoopsies. I just have 2 of those that I have liners in. So those are kind of set aside and ready to go. So what I want to start with is my wet ingredients. So in here, I just took 2 really ripe bananas and I mashed them up. I don't know if you can see that. So they're just like really mushed. And you just want to have those ready. Then what you'll do is you take butter, and I have a 1/4 cup of melted butter, unsalted. You add that in. So I'm doing all the wet ingredients right now. And then I have 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. So I'm just going to add that in there. And then I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. This is gonna be your sweetener. You know, it still has some kind of natural sugars in it, but it's not that added sugar. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. So it's 1/4 cup of the maple syrup. Okay, and then I have 1/2 cup of milk. So this is almond milk just because we don't really drink regular milk. I really like the taste, and it just kind of gives my stomach like a weird feeling. I don't think I'm really lactose intolerant. I've just always had almond milk. So you have 1/2 cup of milk. And then 3/4 cup of canned pumpkin. So this is like that pumpkin puree you can just get in a can at the store. So I'm gonna add all of that in there. And then I have 1 egg. And I have a teaspoon of vanilla, which I forgot to grab, so I'll just grab that. Just have my vanilla extract. And here is my teaspoon. Okay. Alright, so then I just kind of mix all that together. That's all the wet ingredients. We're going to combine those. You mix them well. Just kind of get it nice and mixed. And it's starting to turn that really cool orange color that everything like pumpkin flavored is that color. And that's just the pumpkin puree, but it still looks nice. I like the color of it. So you have all those, and they're mixed pretty well. You don't have to go crazy. Just make sure they're all mixed. Okay, so now I'm gonna take another bowl and I'm gonna do all the dry ingredients in this bowl. So, let's see. So I have my flour, and you wanna do like whole wheat flour. So 1 3/4 cups of whole wheat flour. And then I have a teaspoon of pumpkin spice, and unfortunately I used my teaspoon for the vanilla, so I'll just have to clean that off real quick. Should probably get multiple measuring spoons since I bake a lot, but I don't know, I'm just like too cheap to buy them. So I have a teaspoon of pumpkin spice is what I have to add. And this is like I was saying, I go to Trader Joe's, I get everything pumpkin spice, and this was like the first thing I got from Trader Joe's that was pumpkin spice. And I actually add this to a lot of other things too. I'll add it to like my coffee, I'll add it to like if I'm eating yogurt, I'll add it to pretty much anything, just to have that pumpkin flavor. So I'm gonna do a teaspoon of that. And then I'm gonna do, it says to add cinnamon. I don't really feel like I need cinnamon. It's all in the pumpkin spice anyway. Then I'm gonna do baking soda, a teaspoon. and a teaspoon of baking powder. Now the baking soda. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I got my 1/4 teaspoon. There we go. Okay, so that's all my dry ingredients. So I'm just gonna whisk those all together. I mean, this is pretty easy. You just kind of have your wet ingredients, you mix them together, then your dry, nothing crazy that you have to do. And they're all pretty easy to get at the grocery store. It's nothing like, no weird ingredients that you have to buy. All right, so then I have my dry ingredients, and now you want to mix in the dry into the wet. So I'll bring those together. I'm just gonna mix this together. And this is the important part. You just have to kind of keep in mind, don't over mix, because if you over mix, what can happen is your muffins can be really like dense and tough, and that's not really like a good texture. So just kind of mix them just so that it's all together, that you don't see like any of the dry ingredients still in there. And I'll show you what this looks like when I'm done. Alright, so that's pretty good. So let me show you. I'm going to come around. So, okay, there we go. Can you see that? Okay, so you see it's all mixed together, but it's not like over mixed, like whisked together, and there's really no dry ingredients that you can see. So that's about how you want it. Okay. So then the next step is we're going to put it into the muffin cups. So I have those here. And then what I like to use is I have like this little like cookie scooper. So this is really helpful, you know, when you're making cookies, just to plop them evenly on the pan. But it's also good when I'm doing muffins because it's just so much easier. You're not like having to pour it into the cup and then it's getting everywhere. So, and this makes them nice and even. So I'm gonna scoop this into the cups. And I usually do it like 3/4 the way full. Okay, so now I'm here with my muffin trays all filled up. So what you want to do now is you're going to pop them in the oven at that preheated 425 degrees and bake them for about 5 minutes. And then what you do after those 5 minutes is you drop the temperature down to 350 degrees and bake them for an additional like 20 to 22 minutes. And then what I usually do is around like the 20-minute mark, I'll kind of just like take them out and check them. And then I'll stick like a toothpick in and just see if the toothpick comes out clean. And if it comes out clean, that means they're pretty much done. So I'm gonna pop these in. Okay, so while the muffins are baking, I figured I'll just take a little bit of time to kind of talk about myself and why I started doing these baking videos. I mean, it's really just like a hobby that I've gotten into. So I really always enjoyed baking just kind of growing up, but it's not something I'm professionally trained in anyway. It's just something that I kind of started getting more into as I was adjusting my diet based on like what kind of issues I was having. So for many years I've had like stomach issues and I didn't really realize it, or I was just in denial. And I thought that maybe it stemmed off of dairy. So I did like a no dairy kind of diet for a while, and then I was really into finding alternatives to dairy and baking, or I would have to make my own meals without use of like regular milk or butter or cheese or things like that. And this was back when there weren't as many non-dairy things in the grocery stores, so I really had to get creative. So I did that for a little bit, and then I started doing keto at some point. And that's another thing. This is back when keto wasn't really popular like it is nowadays. So I had to be really creative and kind of make my own recipes for that, just to, because with keto you can get away with just basic groceries that you get, but it gets really boring. Like, I wanted to have some kind of dessert. So I would just have to make up my own dessert that would be keto friendly. So that's kind of how I got started with that. And then also just kind of with like decorating. I'm just like a very creative person in general. I've always really been into like art and drawing and painting. Photography is like something I'm really into. So then the decorating with the baking, it kind of just all goes together, and it's just something that I really enjoy. So whenever I have like some time off here and there, I really like just trying out new recipes and trying new ways to decorate things like for holidays. And it's just something that I really find kind of like a stress reliever, and it's just a nice hobby. So I thought that it'd be fun to do these videos because I really enjoy watching people make baking videos. It's a cool way to learn how to make something aside from just reading a recipe. And then you also sometimes get like a glimpse of their world and where they live and the different ways they might do things that could be different than you. You just kind of learn something about people. So yeah, that's why I kind of started these videos. Now about myself, so I always said I'm not a professional baker in any way. So I'm actually an occupational therapist, and I work in like the hospital system. And it's something that, I mean, as it does have its challenges, just like every other job, but it's something that I really truly love. I go into work and there's just new challenges every day. You really don't know what you're gonna get, especially in the hospital system. And it's just something that I really love to do. So I'm just really glad that I found a career that I really enjoy. Other things about me, so I'm married. I have he's almost 2, my son. This is some of his artwork here. I'm very proud of his art skills. And I have 2 cats and a dog. I'm really into like hiking and just being outdoors. Being in nature is one of the places where I just feel the most at peace and I just feel energized. So I'm into running as well, so going for like trail runs, running through the woods. I just really love doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, so those are just some things about me. But I think I'm gonna go check on the muffins now. All right, so I got my muffins out of the oven. Here they are, looking good. Please excuse the noise. I'm running the dishwasher, and probably not the best idea while I'm trying to film a video. But I hope you guys get a chance to make this recipe and try it out. I'll leave the recipe down below just so you have it for reference. Yeah, give it a try. And have a good Halloween, everybody.